Good afternoon. It's Friday. And what does Friday mean? The weekend is here almost. Well, this is Podcast Pete, and you're in for a special treat. You're on the 80/20 podcast. What does that mean? That means you want to do 20% of the things that'll give you 80% of the results. But I'm going to give you something today that's going to magnify that, make it really help you grow your business. So there's three things. You have podcasting, you have relationships, and you have a collaborative book. Three things that will absolutely explode your business. Here's why. When you're looking at the marketplace today, there's 60,000 marketing messages that hit us. That's some of the stats out there. Don't know where that came from, but just look around. Whether it's social media, whether it's billboards, whether it's radio or podcasts, everybody's trying to sell you something. So your brain is making all these judgments. Do I buy? Do I not buy? Do I buy? Do I not buy? So what do you think your brain that has 60,000 marketing message, do you think it gets worn out? You better believe it does. So you really have to develop a community and an audience, and you need to know who your ideal client is. The prospect, not I sell everybody. Everybody can use my services. No. If you sell everybody, you sell nobody. So the important thing to remember in three things, podcasting. Let's talk about that first. A year ago, I started podcasting. First started out in golf. Now I haven't golfed in a long time. So I just didn't have it, didn't feel it, didn't emotionally connect. I love talking about golf. Geez. But if you're not playing it, you're not feeling it. So I quickly shifted to senior living. Why? I moved into a senior living facility. The average age here at Overture is 80. Now, I don't know for a fact, but we have people well into their 90s. And the people that are younger, they work and you don't really see them, but that's what I heard. So let's just say it is right. So I'm now experiencing senior living at age 66. And I'm seeing things that are happening because there's nothing, most people that I've had on my podcast, they fall in love with seniors. I have a gentleman that he's financial planner, but he fell in love with seniors when he started offering Medicare. And he realized the stories that were being shared with him. When we get later in life, we self-reflect. We reflect on our future, our past, and we say, did we do everything we could? So there's a lot of self-reflection, and there's stories behind all that. And when you start hearing the stories, you fall in love with it. And he did too. Now he loves dealing with his seniors and Medicare. Didn't know it when he went in, found out. And that's what we find out. When I interview on my podcast or I have a guest, I'm always curious, how did you get in it and why? You either hear that I got into it because I was able to take care of my mom, my grandma. I took care of an elderly family member, and I saw the joy of really pouring in and helping them. And it kind of then diverted their career into doing it full time. And I've heard it many, many times. So the same happened with me. Can't play golf. I basically live in a senior facility. So I saw all the things that are going on. I started having guests on my show that had contacts with seniors. And I was able to see the need out there. And here's the need. Our aging kids, children, myself included. My mom's 94. I'm 66. So I know what it's like to be 66 and caring for. I know what it's like to be in a facility like this. I know what it's like to talk to people. And the challenging thing is we're busy with our careers. Our kids are busy. They're growing their careers. They're growing their family. They don't necessarily know the needs of their mom and dad, the changing needs at that. Because you go from senior living to aging in place to memory care through that transition, and each one of them can change quickly. It can be a fall, it can be a mental thing, Alzheimer's, it can be different things that change. It could be the dad, it could be the mom. It just happens. And if you're not aware when those changes happen and you don't know the resources that are out there, the safety of your mom and dad comes into play. And it's not that you simply like don't care. I'm sure there's some that don't, but the majority do. They don't know what's going on with their mom and dad. They're busy in their career. They see them, as much as they can, but they're not aware of how their parents are changing. So we're putting the vendors, the resources together with children and their aging parents. We're doing it, and I'm going to flash it up on the screen. So, oops, I just lost it. Holy mackerel, where the heck happened? All right, hold on here. I just lost the screen. I don't know what happened there. This is wild. It's never happened before. All right, hold on here. Man, this is crazy. Not now. Okay. All right, hold on here. I think there we go. There we go. Went completely black for me. You could probably see me because the monitor's on. Okay, so let me show you our event that's coming up. I want you to be aware of this because everybody's got to laugh. Ken Kington, if you've lived in the Atlanta area for any length of time, you've seen Ken Kington. He's been at your local church. He's been in local associations. He's been everywhere. You know the quality of his humor. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't heard Ken, this QR code right here, right in the middle, scan it. Let's see if I can even make it bigger. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I think I can. Nope, I can't. I was just going to try and make it bigger, but I can't. So, but you can still scan it. That is Dry Bar in Salt Lake City, I think, where he did 45 minutes of the most hilarious comedy that you'll ever hear. You'll be aching. You're laughing so hard. And that's what he does. He helps people laugh. He helps people enjoy where they are. So we're going to bring both together, your adult children with your aging parents. That's going to be, see this right here? And let me see, I can't. Wednesday, May 22nd, 6 o'clock from 6 to 7:30. So what's the event going to be like? From 6 to 6:30, we have Larry Hauser. He's one of us. He's a senior. Dang, that's pretty good. Melissa Sardi. I think I pronounced it right. I'm having a hard time with names. But Melissa is a rising star in the comedy ranks. She's our promoter, and she knows a lot of the comedians in town. So she's going to be able to constantly provide talent for us. So we're going to have it at Grace Church, which is right by Town Center. That's the church I go to. And it's right by Shogun and Patel's Market. So if you've gone to PGA Superstore right by the mall, you passed it. Look on the right-hand side, you'll see it. So Wednesday night, so 6 to 6:30, Larry and Melissa come on. We'll take a break. We're going to mingle with our vendors. They'll be there. So you can see the resources that are out there. We'll have our resource book finished. So you'll have an actual printed book. Yes, not an online directory. You don't have to go online and look at all of them. Now, the kids can do that, but the mom and dad, not necessarily. That's not something we enjoy. But here's the key thing. They'll have their story, their podcast. It'll have things in there that you can check out. And you always want to vet your vendors that are dealing with your mom and dad. You want to know what your resources are available, because you don't know what you don't know until we put them in a nice, convenient resource guide, the Collective Book. It's a collection of all the stories, all the vendors. I've done over 200 podcasts this year. 200 vendors, and about 90% of them touch our senior community. So put that down. You can go to, let me see if I can get it up on the screen. I might as well, heck yeah. You can go to podcasterpkane.com or call me direct if you have any questions. And you can see at the top of the link tree, it'll be finalized today, where you can buy tickets, $15 a ticket. And if you're a senior center and you want to buy 10 tickets, you can buy them at a little bit of a discount. This way, you can get 10 tickets for $100 or $10 a ticket. So if you want to bring your family, you got a big enough family, buy 10 tickets. That gives you a little bit of a discount. There'll be some food there. So when you mingle with the vendors, they'll have, not every vendor, but there'll be a fair amount that'll have it. So you can have something to eat. Then you go back into where Grace Church meets. We have capacity of about 250, something like that. Then Ken's going to come on from 7 to 7:30. And you better be ready to laugh, because he's going to rock the house. So let me go back. So here is, let me see. There we go. There we go. So put that down on your calendar, the 22nd of May. And let me go back to what we were talking about. So the three things that now I'm speaking to my vendors. You need to grow your business. If you're not growing, you're going to go the other way. So today, a lot of noise out there. So what connects with people? Podcasting, their stories. Why do you tell stories? Because people remember stories. So the podcast in the resource book will be, the chapters in there will connect to the podcast. So you'll always be able to go to podcasterpkane.com and see what's going on. So keep that, mark that, bookmark that, give that to people, share this with the community. So you build relationships through your podcast, and then you have a resource guide for both the young and the parents, that they can look and see what's available in our area. You can then go ahead and call people. Hey, do you know anything about Pete Kane? And ask people. I'm not telling you who to use. I'm giving you choices. I'm giving you a chance to see what's available, because you don't know what you don't know. And if you're not aware of services that are out there that your parents need, you're not going to be able to get them. So come out for the comedy May 22nd, Wednesday night, and pass this to people. Give this to people, and this will allow people to know about it. Now, I'm going to give you this so people say, well, how do I get involved? Okay. So chapters, the investment is between $500 and $1,000. You get a beautiful chapter in the book with your story, with your takeaways, with your main points, all the things that make it easy for people to evaluate. Though you can always go to the podcast and see it. Then learn this system. Because when I say we're on the 80-20 podcast, 20% of what you do is going to 80% of your results. So if you could always run around and stay busy. Plenty of people do that. They stay busy and they think if they stay busy, they're getting things done. But the sad fact is, a lot of times we're not. You want to do the activities, the 20% of your activities that produce 80% of your business. So in this case, you're learning the system of podcasting. Either you're sponsoring a podcast weekly, or you're on one, or you're inviting guests for, or you're doing a combination of everything. But you invest $350, we do everything for you. We put it together for you. You just show up with your expertise, with your value that you have for the market, and we do the rest. And we coach you, and we mentor you, and we give you everything you need to be successful. Now, if you don't do any, you're not going to be successful. Hard work, discipline, and being nice. Because our community is nice people, very nice people. And so we make sure that you are around nice people who recommend and refer you. Hey, do you know anybody that does this? Well, let me look. I think I met somebody. So our whole community is safe for our vendors, for our senior citizens, because the sad fact is people prey on our seniors, and we're going to stop it. So if you're somebody that takes from seniors, we're going to find out about you, and we're going to expose you. So beware, we're coming. That's just a kind of a fun warning. But the fact is, go to podcasterpking.com. You want to be a chapter in the book, you have to have been on the podcast. You can't just jump in the book. We don't do that. We see if you're the type of person that would be ideal for our community. And we have to have a podcast to determine that. So what are the three things? Podcasting, relationships, and what's the third? The book. Podcasting, relationships, and the book. And if you're a vendor, there's not going to be anything you could spend your money on that you're going to get a return anywhere close to this. And there's a guarantee. If after the first month you don't get your value, you don't have to stay. You're not committing to 6 months. You're committing to 1 month. 1 month at a time. You like it? We deliver what we can deliver, results. You stay. And in 6 months, you're going to be ready to rock. And we have a plan even after that. So I hope to hear from you. I hope to see our podcasters. We got well over 200. So we're only going to put a limited number of chapters in this first book. So don't procrastinate. Take action. Thank you so much. I'm Podcast Pete, and you're on the Podcast Pete podcast. Let me see if I can remove this. Thank you. There we go. Okay, so here, see this number? 404-428-3006. And here it is, podcasterpkane.com. If you want to go on to sign up, or if you're somebody that has not been on my podcast and you want to, then go ahead and be a guest. And you can either call me or go to my website, podcasterpkane.com. Have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend. And hope your business is filling your heart and growing. Because we want you, if you're a giver, we want you to prosper. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And share this with people that you think could benefit, that do business with seniors, that could benefit by being a part of this. Thank you.